Hey, you guys, it's Britt. Today we're here to talk about Dad Challenge podcast. Yes, again, I had some updated thoughts. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys. So, yep, we're here to talk about Dad Challenge podcast again. Josh, I had some thoughts regarding a community post that he put up, and I also wanted to clarify something for the small handful of people who decided that for some reason me sharing my opinion about this very public YouTuber is wrong or unethical. I just wanted to say that if you guys expect for two YouTubers to be cordial at one point in time, take it. I was not someone who talked on the phone with Josh. I was not someone who had daily conversations with him. He didn't know where I live. I don't know exactly where he lives. Like, it was not a, maybe some people have a different image of what our, stance was than others. That's fine. But I'm here to say that did we have some conversations through Instagram? We did. It wasn't anything super crazy. Did he give me advice initially when he contacted me about lighting and camera? He did, just like he did for many other YouTubers. And over time, if I publicly support someone and then I see a shift or a change in their demeanor, their behavior, their content, anything that they're doing publicly, I have every right to come onto my platform and share those opinions. That is not me being shady. That is not me being illogical. That is not me trying to pick a fight with someone. It is just me sharing my opinions as I do for many other YouTubers. Look at all of the YouTubers and influencers that I've covered on my channel. Some more than others, obviously, totally transparent about that. But I share my opinions, and if people are here to listen to them, that's awesome. And if they're not, that's awesome too. There is no contract to say that you have to listen to my videos. There is no contract to say that you have to agree with my opinions, but they're there for those who are interested. This is also why I say in my intros, literally every single day, if you are interested, please keep watching. AKA, if you're not interested or if you're going to have a personal issue with it, then you don't have to keep watching. It's all good either way. I will say the last thing that I want to get off my chest is that the things that Josh is doing are putting other people in harm's way. And we're not talking about snark, we're not talking about name calling or anything like that. The things that he has done, I want you guys to really listen to this. And if you are one of the people who has an issue with people voicing their concern about Josh, think about this before the next time you are so quick to stand up for him. If Josh was without a crystal ball and she was doxing other creators who disagreed with her, what would you say about that? If it was Jeffree Star doxing other creators, what would you say about that? Just because there are certain YouTubers on this platform who are very well known for being toxic and problematic, that does not mean that other ones like Josh cannot become toxic and problematic, which is exactly what he has done. And I know that some people have a different stance on, oh, he was always this way, or, oh, a lot of you guys, see it how I see it, which I'm fine with either one. But this is someone who is misusing his platform, and he is upsetting people who watch his channel, and he is absolutely, directly and indirectly, encouraging people to go real life. He admitted on video the other day that he has someone who works very closely with him, and I know exactly who it is, but I'm not going to out that person, who digs into people's backgrounds. Josh, just a reminder, you are not the detective of YouTube.
After all you've told me, I have no reason to not believe you that she said that. And I've got some background checkers checking on this guy, and he's a ghost.
Yeah,
he's a ghost.
Nobody knows.
And that's
Family, nobody knows.
It will come out. It'll come out eventually. There's some really, really talented people on the internet that can find him. I don't know how, but I've got somebody looking who does some background research on people for me, and she's really good, and she can't find anything on this guy, which tells me it's one of two things. He's either a clean, but is not even a speeding ticket, or there's some kind of, he paid a lot of money to have all that stuff removed. That's fraud, and that's illegal. Yeah. And that's why I was looking for a criminal record check or anything like that on him. So it sounds like, okay, so he's if, allegedly he's a credit card, cloner, which is illegal.
You are not some kind of formal safety officer of YouTube. Why do you have someone close to you who is digging into people's backgrounds and their personal information and digging up whatever info they can find? This is why people compare him to Without a Crystal Ball, especially as of the last few months. Now, I've said before, and I'll say it again, there are a couple of situations where, as a citizen and a subscriber and a watcher of YouTube, you have the responsibility to contact authorities if you see use of a child, a person, or an animal on video. Other than that, there is no reason to take speculations and conspiracy theories and assumptions and encourage people to either go real life, or you have someone on the side digging up info on this person based off of things that you've heard on the internet.
I'm sending a couple people there to find out actually who has special needs there.
So if you're still a supporter of his and you expect YouTubers to not talk about him, really reconsider why it is that you think that way, because there is no reason why doxing and this YouTuber putting people in real life danger should be ignored. I don't care what kind of a message he has. I don't care how many subscribers he has. I don't care if he is your favorite YouTuber. There is no reason why this behavior should be ignored and not talked about and talked about and talked about, because doxing is not okay. And I don't care if there's an apology. I don't care if there's a retraction. I don't care. It needs to be talked about. And by the way, just a reminder, the second dox that he did on APOC has not been addressed. He has completely ignored it. And the apology that he gave to Brianna K was a pile of shit, if you ask me. It was the most immature, just like the biggest cop-out, immature way to give someone an apology.
$1,000 she made. Okay, and I'm not saying that's what she made. She might have charged less, gave coupon codes to others, but she made, I want to say, over $100,000 off these people to make a video that didn't get them anywhere, that did nothing for them. And I think that's taking advantage of people, just like MLMs. Thank God she's not an MLM. But yes, she does use her kids for advertising. She doesn't use them as much, and I will admit that. Yes, I think she did move to Hawaii to escape this ratio she was receiving, which was ridiculous to me. Just should have taken the ratio. If you're going to travel during COVID, whatever, just travel during COVID. We're going to snark on you no matter what, so just don't buy $1 million trailer. This is probably not the answer. They were going to buy a house that was about $900,000 and then instead bought this trailer in Hawaii, which I get you want to live in Hawaii. Anyway, all that to say is that Bree is not innocent, and she comes across like, woe is me, I'm sad. But you know what? I actually want to walk you through this video, through some parts of it, and then I'll walk you through another video she just did recently. We'll talk about it. But before I get to that, I do want to apologize to bits of Brianna K, that I'm sorry that I put your house on YouTube. I got called out by some people that are close to me for doing it. I don't care what the other people say. But it's not an excuse, but I didn't see her, I honestly truly didn't see her name of the road on the street name on the thing. It's just an oversight. My bad. I apologize. I blurted it out instantly as soon as someone called me out on it, and then I deleted it since. I deleted that whole part. It was inappropriate. I should not have done it, and I apologize to Brianna. Okay, it wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to do it, and now I see it, and I will never do it again. I basically wanted to see how far Target was from my house.
It was terrible. So even if that part is closed in some people's minds, then let's focus on the second box. And I don't care. I've heard people say, well, I don't like APOC. APOC does this. APOC says that. All of that put aside, it still stands that it's wrong to dox someone. And if you care so much about children, it's very well known that APOC has a child, so that's not a secret. why on earth would you be okay with doxing someone? And this is not someone who made one mistake. This is a repeat behavior. Some of the things that I have seen proof of behind the scenes are extremely troubling. And I am not going to bring those to my platform, but it is a lot. People are intimidated by Josh. They are literally afraid to speak out against him. And there is no reason why we should not be able to speak up on these issues, share opinions, and spread the word. I don't care if you're a former supporter, a current supporter, or just someone who doesn't even know of him. These issues need to be talked about, because if it was anyone else, why should it be ignored for one person and not the other? So he put up a community post 5 days ago, and I was sent it several times and asked my opinion about it. So that's what I'm here to do today, but I had to get that housekeeping out of the way just to clarify my thoughts, my stance, and my overall opinions, and what my top concern is regarding Dad Challenge podcast. Now, he is not someone who I'm going to cover on a normal basis, but it just so happens that as of lately, he's been picking up left and right, and I'm here to share thoughts on it. He decided to cover the Brian Laundrie situation yesterday. I don't think the video was monetized, but nevertheless, still utilizing the Gabby Petito story to drive views and subscribers to his channel. So he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He is here to do whatever it takes to continue on the money train that he discovered back during starting to cover Gabby Petito. He saw that income and he is not ready to let it go. The post starts out by saying, I'm so close to 100K, and I just wanted to thank you so much for coming to this channel to watch my content. And regarding his 100K, I know a lot of people think that it's not really 100,000 subscribers. The thing that I will say about that is, in my opinion, if you look at his views over the last year, they have not really fluctuated a whole lot considering the substantial growth that he has had to his channel. Typically, when you see someone on this fast track to 100,000 subscribers, you should also be seeing your views increase as well. Maybe not skyrocket, but for such a short period of time to bring so many new subscribers to your channel, you would expect the views to increase a fair amount. He goes on to say, I don't always get it right, and I can be intense sometimes, but I think the overall message has resonated with a lot of you. I, along with many other people, agree that he has lost his message because of the way that he has decided to get so much worse with his insults and the things that he says about people. I'll tell you guys, when my first red flag went up about him, it was back when the Love Meg cleaner was released and he wanted to say that it smelled like vagina.
Probably smells like your vagina.
Like I said,
that was the most adolescent, immature, stupid thing that he could have said about a cleaning product. And that was kind of the first red flag. After that, I really started to pay more attention, and even though I wasn't watching all of his videos, it stuck with me and it stuck in the back of my head, and things just continued to escalate from there. I think that you can be intense and not be an asshole. I think that you can be very forthcoming in your opinions, and it doesn't have anything to do with attacking people for fillers or their eyelashes or things that they literally can't help, like their voice, or he's also said a lot of ableist things. He has fat shamed people.
Tryouts. Conduct training while
Maybe you should conduct yourself to a gym, start running.
And that is rich coming from him, who has had, I think that he had like gastric bypass or some sort of medical procedure to help him lose weight. So I would pump the brakes before you, just come out of the gate and shame people for getting work done. I used to always think it's kind of interesting how he slams women for getting fillers, and Cece Suarez, who is no longer aligned with Josh either, you know, she has her lips done and she's very public and very forthcoming about that. So I always thought that it was funny how you want to slam women and say that they're putting out this unattainable lifestyle and unattainable beauty, but literally your co-host to your former podcast was doing those beauty procedures and it was okay. And listen, I'm here for it all. You know, don't use it to falsely advertise products, but if you're going to do that, I am here for it. You guys kind of know where I stand with that, but I always thought that that was really interesting. He goes on to say, the message is clear and always will be. If you exploit your kids for money, put them in danger, and put your selfish needs ahead of your kids and influence others to do the same, I will cover your content. But the problem is like he admitted with Maya Knight, he doesn't review content. He doesn't dig into these influencers.
Now, if you go through Maya's videos, and I haven't, because I don't have that kind of time. A lot of people accuse me of not knowing enough about the people that I talk about. Well, I don't have time to watch their content. My benchmark for covering somebody is this. Do you exploit your children for money? Can I prove it? That's it.
He gets one video sent to him on Instagram and immediately jumps down in his basement, hits record, and starts flying off the handle. So it would be one thing if you want to focus on the exploitation of kids like your channel started out as, then focus on that. Don't focus on taking a clip and spinning it and twisting it when you don't know anything about this person. Because as Josh has said himself, he doesn't have time to look into them. So he will react off one clip. And regarding putting kids in danger, I will also refer back to what I talked about in the beginning of the video. You cannot stand on the message of caring about kids and people in real life. Those two don't coexist for me. If you disagree, that's fine. But don't ever sit on your platform and act like you care about the safety of kids and the well-being of others and tell people how beautiful and cherished they are when you are putting people in real life danger and you are annihilating them all across your channel. He continues, is it petty? It can be, but it's petty with a purpose. I think that he lost his purpose a long time ago. He continues, you might not agree, and I've lost a few supporters along the way. I think he's lost more than a few. I mean, I have heard from so many people that they used to follow him and now they don't. That's why also the, quick route to 100K is very questionable, but moving on. But I honestly trust my gut on this, and if calling people out means I have to make fun of their pants or fake eyelashes, then so be it. But the problem is that he doesn't just make fun of pants or fake eyelashes. He makes fun of people who literally cannot help the way that they look, the way that their voice sounds.
She can't wear that. That bra size is way too big for her.
Looks like it's full.
A lot of you guys can
Special news, thank you.
see right here.
Hi, special news.
Addition to our family.
Things, or was it?
Yes, it's not your brains. It's not your humor. Absolutely none of those things exist in your realm. It's literally your looks. And even that's like,
Those things like, wow, this is just like a perfect connection, or what?
My Adderall is just, it's there. It's, I just took it. Sure, is that regulation? This one is not bent over properly. Aaron's got the right, see that? This one too, they even got that little curve. This one's like, She drawing a circle thing. Now, I have asked Aaron and Brittany Mora, bunch of great ones. Who is this? I love this drawing circle thing. Now, I have asked Aaron who this person is because I was like, are those real? And Aaron said, they are real. They've been reduced. And I was like, okay, next. I'm not pausing it. So, okay, let's take a look quick here. We know that these are real. That's great. But she's got those.
What in the world are you talking about? He has speculated about people's sex lives. He constantly objectifies women. He constantly talks about boobs. Everything is sexualized, everything is perverted. It really is just cringy to watch this man. Like, once you've seen it, it's hard to unsee it. And that's the position that I've had, is once you actually realize what he's doing and you can watch the content, but from an outsider's perspective, you really do see how gross it is and how the things that he says are so completely out of line. It has nothing to do with exploiting kids. And he has really picked on some women who don't exploit their kids. Let's be honest. You know, what happened with Micah, it's hard to argue with the Micah thing, even though he has said really, really terrible stuff about her. She is probably the most hated mommy vlogger on this platform. But a lot of the women that he's covered don't exploit their kids the way that he would make you think they do. Love Meg is a perfect example of that. And plus, you're doing content that has nothing to do with kids being exploited. These home tours that he does, he did Jeffree Star's home tour with his buddy Mark. So what does that have to do with kids being exploited? If you're gonna stand on that message, you're gonna have to do better. So it would be one thing if he wants to actually say that all that he does is make fun of pants and fake eyelashes, but you know, there's just been things that he talks about that are so completely out of line. I, for one, would be absolutely embarrassed if I was his wife, and I try to not really talk about her on my channel, but it has to be embarrassing for this to be your husband's presence online. Ew. It's also a place for comedy and laughter. So I guess if your version of comedy and laughter is that of a middle school boy, then people will laugh at your jokes and think that you're just the funniest person ever. But for most of us, we have higher standards as far as what we actually consider comedy. And I can probably count on one hand the times that Josh made me even crack a smile. To me, he is just the laughing stock of anti-family vlogger YouTubers. He goes on to say, a place to discover that these people are far from perfect and you should never stack yourself up against a false perception. It's been proven to be damaging, not only to adults, but especially to children. You know, aside from kids maybe saying, I want that toy, I want that swimming pool that this other YouTube family has, I don't really think that kids are comparing themselves to people online. And as far as moms comparing themselves to other mommy vloggers, I think that most adults know that social media is fake. Is it helpful to once in a while have a reminder? It is, but in my opinion, I don't think that we need it from a man who sits in his basement annihilating women on the internet just for, some of them just for existing, let's be honest. You know, do I think that influencers should be using fillers and saying that it's actually a lip plumper? No, I don't. But again, he has lost his right to be a spokesperson for anything uplifting or anything positive. At least in my mind, I am not saying that it needs to be like that for anyone or everyone or anything along those lines. I want to thank all the creators who cover the same stuff, even the ones who hate me. So as far as other creators hating him, I can't speak for everyone, but I think that most of the 30 plus creators who have spoken out against Dad Challenge podcast at this point, there have been over 100 videos made about this guy. And I think that most of us were at one point supporters or even like semi-supporters and would check in on him once in a while. I don't think that there's actual hatred among a lot of us. There's just an awakening, and there is a point where we just can't take it anymore, and silence is acceptance in a lot of situations. And as I'll speak for myself, as always, as someone who at one point in time spoke positively about Josh, If I were to stay silent, then to me, that is telling you guys that I am okay with this behavior. This behavior is cool. I don't need to say anything about it, even though I've said that I support him in the past. I am just going to stay silent and not talk about it to avoid conflict. So I don't hate him, and I don't think that a lot of other people hate him, but he is unable to accept criticism. He is unable to realize that he is a huge hypocrite. Because as I said, he still has a video on his channel of his child in a diaper. He literally has a music YouTube page for his daughter. So once that channel becomes monetized, where's that money going to go? Because according to Josh's own guidelines, that is child exploitation. And even if you say, oh, well, the money's going to the daughter, how do we know that that's true? And even if it is true, you are still exploiting her according to his own rules. Because Jess Fam has said that she's putting money, the money that her kids make goes into a separate account, but she's still a child exploiter. He still annihilates Jess Fam constantly on his channel. And I'm not saying that I like her, but according to your rules, if your kids are being utilized to make money, then you're exploiting them. So what about your daughter, Josh? It's been a big year and a half, and since the Micah stuff went down, a lot has shifted. So many family vloggers stopped, and many more who were considering it have changed their mind. I don't claim to be the leader in this fight, but I am definitely part of it. I would beg to differ. He is definitely someone who constantly talks about the size of his platform, how many people are in his audience, the fact that, he is changing minds and he is changing the way that people are looking at family vlogging. So do I think that some people have definitely changed the way that they look at family vlogging because of him? Absolutely. But I think that some of those people have also tuned out, like myself, because of the way that the message was being delivered and the way that the whole thing is, I've never seen someone so incapable of accepting criticism. And I know a lot of his supporters will say, oh, he does take criticism, he accepts it. I beg to differ, because unless you put the criticism in a really delicate package with sprinkles and a cupcake on top, then you're going to be met with a really smart-ass remark. You will be called stupid, and then you will be blocked. He has done it to so many people, time and time again. And nobody should have to, baby you so that you can listen to a little bit of feedback. This is YouTube, dude. You literally drag entire families every single day on your platform, and you're the one that can't take any criticism. How funny is that? It's been a great journey and a blessing to be here and to be able to put my wife through school debt-free. This platform has changed me in so many ways. And that's great. But it's funny because Josh for so long always said that he would never do YouTube full time. But I guess that since he still works 1 day a week at his real job, he doesn't consider himself doing YouTube full time. But let's be honest, if you're working 1 day a week at your full-time job, you're no longer eligible for benefits, at least with most companies, because you're working 7 or 8 hours a week. And YouTube is your main source of income. So after he ragged on all those influencers and all those family vloggers for doing YouTube full time, look at where we are. So that's the thing. Just time and time again, he's a hypocrite, and I can't stand hypocritical people. Have I been a hypocrite at times? Absolutely. But to have your entire existence just be a full-on hypocrisy, that's why so many people are becoming more vocal and more aware of the sham that is DCP. He goes on to say, I'm better for it and always considering how I can improve. I don't believe that. Despite what my haters say, I love people. I think that he loves people that stroke his ego. I think that he loves people that are in his real life. I don't think that he just loves people he has said himself, if you exploit your kids for money, then you are disgusting and gross. So I don't think that all people he has love for. I just have a zero tolerance for bad parents. So that means that you love some people, others you're okay with destroying. I honestly never thought that I'd make it to 100K in such a short time. That's why, but it encourages me that clearly people are on board for the message, on board for the laughs and the yelling. I think that he has attracted some of his audience that are just as immature as he is, as far as these juvenile remarks that he will make about women's bodies. So I think that some of them enjoy that. But as I said before, the 100K, I think, would make his views look very different, and that's what I will say about that. I've developed an even thicker skin and have moved past the obligation to watch hate videos or read hate comments on me. That took a bit, but it's super freeing. He categorizes everything as hate, and that is so obnoxious. It's the oldest excuse in the book to not listen to people that have a different opinion than you. You just call them haters, and that's what he mocks the vloggers for doing. Oh, you're jealous, you're a hater. So now you're doing the exact same thing. Josh is much more like the family vloggers and influencers than he wants to think. And there is such thing as receiving hate online. Absolutely, without a doubt. But if you're unable to have a two-way conversation with someone who has a little bit of a different viewpoint than you, those are people that you should listen to. The last thing that I'll say is regarding these hate videos that are made about him. You're not past watching them. He does still watch them. And he is constantly in comment sections, allegedly, in my opinion, reading what people are saying about him. And if it's not him, then it's his mods. They all have just way too much time on their hands, and I don't believe for a second that he's above it, because if you were above it, then you wouldn't know who APOC is, and you wouldn't have doxed him on your channel. If you're so just letting things roll off your back and you're not bothered and you're just an unbothered king sitting there in your basement, then the videos that APOC made would not have been met with your response of clips taken out of context, posted on your channel, and then later on down the line, just a few days ago, you dox him. That is not someone who is above watching hate videos. I've also learned so much about the dangers of social media. 9 years ago, Everly was born, and my wife and I sang This Is Love from Cinderella and put that video online for our family to watch. We did the same for Weston. Those videos are super special and are still watched by family. They are private for them, and if you asked me back then if it was a problem, I would have scoffed. Now I see, and as so many more have seen as well. I have changed leaps and bounds even since 1.5 years ago when all those dangers started being uncovered, and you were there to uncover them with me as I often watched videos for the first time with you. I fully agree that social media is dangerous. It is scary, but you have lost your message when you say things like this. Social media is scary, it's dangerous, protect your kids, but you are actively digging into people's personal information. You said it yourself, and more importantly, you are doxing people on your channel. If you know for a fact that once things are on the internet, they're there forever, which he does know that, then why are you so quick to do it to other people? Screenshots, screen recordings. I don't know how many people know where Brianna Kay lives. And they just bought that house. What do you expect them to do? Move? Because of your stupid ass, you know? What do you expect APOC to do when someone Googles his name and finds out his address? Move? The doxing is the thing that I am really just deeply bothered by. I can disagree with a lot of what people are saying or doing online. That's one thing. But once it crosses over into real life, you guys know how I feel about this. You never go real life with people. I've said this before, but there have been videos made giving me criticism. And whether or not I agree with some of them or half of them or, whatever, could you imagine if I took issue with that creator and premiered a video using someone's full name? There is absolutely zero way that I would get away with that. There is absolutely zero way that I would ever recover from that. And I would never do that because I'm not a shitty person. And I don't want anyone to be put in harm's way. I never want that. You can dislike me and I can dislike you all day long. But most YouTubers do not go real life. There are some, and they're called out for it usually. But the fact that people are expecting other YouTubers to turn and look the other way and not keep talking about the fact that he has not one but two people now, and who knows what he's doing behind the scenes, because as he said himself, he is someone very close to him who is looking into people. That is fucking haunting. Again, thank you for being here and sticking around. If I have alienated anyone, I did not do so on purpose. This isn't for everyone, and that's for sure. So, criticism, hate, he either blocks you or he will alienate you, I guess. Okay. In conclusion, I'm still mind blown that 100K people have decided to give me a sub and listen to my message. I think we're on the same page with the message, and that's what counts. And then he, this beautiful, gorgeous, whatever, bullshit. I think one of the biggest hurdles that Josh is going to go through is that he will dislike you whether or not your kids are on your platform. If they were on your platform at one point in time, let's just use Maya Knight for an example. If she took her kids off of TikTok tomorrow, he has grown such a he's grown to have such an issue with her because of other things that she does. If she took her kids off, he would still cover her and he would still annihilate and drag her because she's a mom who drinks alcohol. You know what I mean? So, let's just say if 8 passengers stopped having their kids on their channel, then he would still annihilate Ruby for her eyelashes, her makeup, and the fact that they're Mormons. The message was important at a certain point in time, but that message has been so drowned out and just overcome with the negativity and toxicity and gross coverage that he does on these families. As I said before, I have agreed with him about the kids not being on YouTube, as many other people have as well. But you can only stand on that message for so long before it becomes meaningless. You can't just stand on one message and then use it to blatantly bully and drag people. It gets drowned out and people are sick and tired. So this will probably be my final DCP video, at least for the short term, unless he does something and I'm asked to talk about it. There is no reason why anyone as a subscriber of my channel, his channel, or if you subscribe to neither of us and you just came across this video, there's no reason why it should be expected that a YouTuber ignores someone else who is seeing people and putting them in harm's way. And as I said, you guys can stand on that apology that he gave Brianna K all you want, but you're not going to come out with this community post and say how social media is so dangerous and all this stuff. But behind the scenes and center stage, you're doing extremely scary and dangerous shit to people that you disagree with. And I'm not going to ignore it. So either way, that's going to be it for now. If you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.